All right, this is John Colo with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and where I am here, I'm at a gardener's house. And actually, he doesn't have an outdoor garden, because I know many of you guys may not have space for an outdoor garden, but what he does have is a sprout and microgreens garden. So he's growing things like the broccoli sprouts, one of the most anti-cancer foods in the entire planet, even more so than just the standard broccoli you eat. The microgreens and the sprouts 4 to 40 times or even 100 times more potent than the large size vegetables. And in addition, he's growing things like the microgreens. He's got barley grass over here that he juices, wheatgrass and pea shoots, and over another area he has the sunflower greens. So in this episode, you guys aren't going to learn how to grow these things. This is my OK Raw channel. If you guys want to learn how to grow stuff, be sure to check the link down below, where actually I did a grow video here at Dave's place showing you guys how he easily grows his sprouts and microgreens indoors here in Las Vegas year round. What I thought I wanted to do in this episode, actually show you guys more of Dave's story. Basically, Dave got into only growing sprouts and microgreens because he had a health challenge. Much like myself, I had a health challenge, and that's why I made major dietary changes to heal myself. And what he found was that by eating raw foods, and not just any old raw foods, but eating a specific, diet, raw foods diet, including lots of sprouts and microgreens, he was able to heal his prostate cancer, right? And many of you guys may have this challenge, or maybe other cancers. And basically, what I'm going to share in this episode is actually Dave's testimonial on how he found about eating a healthy diet and how he literally got rid of his prostate cancer. And you might be able to do this too. So anyways, let's go ahead and get Dave in here and learn more. So now I'm here with Dave Gil, and basically I'm here today to share his story and more about what he does in his life on a daily basis to keep the cancer away, right? I mean, like I said a little bit earlier in the intro, right? We both got into dietary changes to improve our health, you are what you eat. I mean, this is an old adage that everybody has heard before, but we try to take it very seriously because we have seen the direct effects of eating an improper and unhealthy diet by both getting sick when we probably both thought we kind of ate healthy. But now we know we definitely eat healthy, and we could feel if we maybe get off track a little bit how our body reacts. So I guess, Dave, first I want to actually ask you your story and how you got involved with eating, raw living foods.
Well, it started in April 2010. I went to regular yearly checkup, and I got my results back, and all of a sudden they said they need to send, my doctor said I need to go see a urologist.
A urologist?
Yeah, I went to see a urologist, and
he does the urine stuff, so that's like your genitals and all that stuff.
Yeah, so went to see him, and he said, you got a cancer.
Wow.
And I said, okay, all right. It didn't hit me, So I told my wife, I said, well, you know what, let's go see another doctor. So we went to see another doctor in Vegas, and he said, well, I think you have something that we got to do biopsy. Okay, so after about a week, he called me for biopsy, and I went to get the biopsy done, and then I don't hear back from him. I called him a few times, no answer. He said, well, his receptionist said, you need to see doctor. You have to come in. I said, uh-oh. When they say that, something is serious, okay? So I went to see him inside, and went to see him in his office. I had no symptoms, John. There's absolutely.
You felt fine, right? You're healthy.
I felt like healthy as a horse. I'm eating my sad diet. I was happy camper, right? So
now when sad diet is a standard American diet, which is basically junk foods and animal foods in excess and just what everybody eats.
Right. So I went to see him, and I went to his office, and he set me aside, got my wife in there, and he showed me all this biopsy results, and he said, well, I just want to let you know, these are his words. He said, you're a very sick man.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't feel it?
I didn't feel nothing. And when he said that, I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm like kind of shut out. It's like I'm just trying to process all that information, what he just told me, and I'm tongue tight. I'm not talking. And all of a sudden my wife is speaking for me, and I'm just like back thinking, what's going on? So we came home, and then he said, I have to perform surgery. I say, what does surgery involve? He said, we'll see. We probably have to take out the prostate. And then I said, well, I told my wife, I said, you know what? I don't think I want to do anything with this doctor because he's so mean and he's just blurting out that I got cancer. I told her, I said, call your sister, which she's a head surgeon nurse at UCLA. We called her up and said, set me up with your urologist and UCLA. Went to see him, and as I walked out of the room, he checked me out, and then I walked out of the room and he talked to my family, my mom, dad, my brother, my wife, and my nephew. And I came in the room, everybody's quiet, like somebody had died. And I said, what's going on? They said, well, he doesn't want to do radiation or chemo. He said the prostate actually, the cancer actually has gone beyond prostate. So it's
spreading?
It's spreading. It's in semivesical. It's like stage 3. Okay?
Stage 3.
And now being told that by 2 doctors, I'm still not happy. Okay, I said, okay.
You didn't want to believe him, so you think you're in denial?
I think I was in denial. Okay, and I didn't think I have it. Because I feel
fine.
I feel healthy as a horse, right? So I say, okay, let's go see another doctor. Okay, went to Loma Linda University. Okay, now Loma Linda University doctor say, well, what did the other doctor say? I say, I don't care what he said. I want to know what you think. And she said, well, these are her words. It was actually lady doctor. She checked me out. She said, it's very impressive.
Impressive.
I don't know what that means. She says it's very impressive. And then she got her other doctor in, and they say, yes, you have a prostate cancer. I say, well, I don't know if I do or don't, but I want to do another biopsy. Now, at that time, remember, I was naive. I knew nothing about biopsy, how it can affect you, how it can spread the cancer. If I had to go back, I would never recommend biopsy for anybody.
At all, or a second?
No, I would not recommend biopsy. Just change your diet to healthy diet, then go back to the doctor in 3 months and see if you can check up. He can check up without biopsy and see if you still have it. So she did biopsy, and then she doesn't give me biopsy results. So I say, I need the biopsy results. Tell me what's going on. She said, well, you don't want to know biopsy results because you have it. Okay, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. So I told her, I said, you know what? Doctor, my Jesus is going to heal me. I just came out of me, right? I'm a Christian. I said, my Jesus is going to heal me. And now this is a Christian hospital. And she said, tell Jesus, these are her words. She said, tell Jesus to take that cancer away from you. I said, you know what? Wow. I will ask Jesus to take that cancer out of me, right? Then I said, okay, whatever what she said, I got to go see another doctor. So it continued. So we made an appointment at USC, another rock star urologist, right? And this guy had me wait 3 hours in the waiting room because he was in surgery. Then he finally came out. We went to his office, same thing, my whole family, and he said, we have our work cut out for you. I said, I have no idea what it means. Doc speaks plain English. He said, well, we got to do surgery, okay? I said, well, what are you going to take out? He said, prostate. And then I kind of like shut off. Now my wife is speaking on my behalf because I'm in that black hole again, put in the black hole, unable to speak. And she said, what about his manhood? I don't know if I put that in there. I mean, you have to edit it.
No, put it in there.
Okay. What about his manhood? Now my wife is just asking an innocent question. He said, well, how old are you? And she said 46. It's like, does it matter anymore? Or he wants to live, or he want to keep his manhood? Then she said, well, okay, once you go in there, what else? Are you just going to take a prostate? He said, no. We're going to take prostate out. Anywhere else we see cancer, we're going to take that out. She goes, what do you mean? Bladder? We may have to take bladder out. We may have to take his rectum out. And she said, how is he going to go to the restroom? Well, we'll give him a bag. Oh, really? What do you mean bag? Okay, well, bag, he's going to go in the bag. And I'm just like shut out completely. I don't know. I think I was in Twilight Zone at that point. And I'm just walking out of the hospital like a zombie. We got in the truck. I'm in the back seat. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, John, at that point, because now it's been verified by different doctors, supposedly top doctors. I came home and I told my wife, I said, honey, I mean, that's what they want to do. I mean, I don't know what else can I do. There's no other option on the table at this point. And my wife is very Christian, and she said, honey, you have to pray. Okay, you have to pray. If you do this, they will kill you. Now, she knew a little bit about chemo. I knew a little bit about chemo and all this stuff, what it can do to you. She said, I will not be sticking around to see you die. Those are her words.
Wow. So she was going to leave you if you went for that surgery.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And she was dead serious because she knew I was going to die. And she said, you stay with the family. I'm not going to be here. I'll be gone. I said, now we have a little bit of argument, a little bit of challenge in our marriage, you know, and I'm like, okay, honey, I got to do it. I have no other choice. This is what the doctor wants me to do. And at that point, John, I just got into spiritual mode. I said, God, and this is, I'm just giving you synopsis, okay, make a long story short. I said, God, either you take me, okay, or you can heal me. There's only two options. If you take me, I'm okay with it. I'll be with you, okay? But if you want to heal me, I promise you one thing, that I will glorify your name. Every video, every testimony that I will ever give, okay? So after that, I start searching. I Google stuff, and I don't know anything about raw food and raw food heals, whatever, and I came across this book called The Cure by Dr. Timothy Brantley out of, Santa Monica, and I ordered that book on the spot at midnight. Book arrived, I read it page to page, took me 2 days. From there on, my journey began. I started reading book after book after book. I must have read about 70 books on health and nutrition, cleansing and colonic and all that stuff. I even have a history on chemo, okay, because I wanted to know what the heck is chemo and what it's all about, where it came from. I say, I'm not going to touch that poison. And I started changing, and I changed overnight. I didn't have any sophisticated equipment, John. I had Jack-O-Lantern juicer, which eventually broke on me because I was juicing so much. All I knew was I need to start juicing. And I kept it very simple. I used carrots, and I used celery, and I used red beets. Any root vegetable I can stick in that juicer, I juiced it and I drank it. And I started doing colonic 3-4 times a week, and all of a sudden I'm losing weight. I was 160, 70 pounds.
So were you eating other things besides the juicing, or were you just juicing, so you're kind of in a juice fast?
I was on a juice fast, but I was eating healthier food. Right off the bat, day one, I gave up meat. I gave up beef, I gave up meat, any type of meat. I gave up eggs, I gave up dairy, I gave up sugar drinks, Coke, processed food, fast food, you name it, anything that was not live, I gave that up from day one. And I started cleansing 3-4 times a week. I was cleansing machine. I was on Clean on Board Boy like almost every other day. And as I was cleansing, I lost about 30 pounds. And all of a sudden, I feel good. I say, wow, this is good stuff, man.
So you already felt good when you had the prostate cancer, but now you even feel better.
I even felt better. I felt vibrant. I felt full of energy. And then I said, well, you know what? After about 3 months, I said, okay, I got to go see my homeopathic doctor, who was in Vegas here. And I told doctor, I said, Dr. Royal, check me out. I want you to see how am I doing. Okay, check my prostate. And he goes, your prostate is normal.
Normal? Did you get it double checked? Because you didn't believe the doctors when you had something wrong. Did you believe the doctor when he said it was normal, or did you?
That was good enough for me. He did PSA test.
If it's good, it's all right.
I'm okay.
Bad, you better double check.
I'm okay. If it's good, it's good. I know something was working. I don't know what it was in the juice, but I knew something was working. And I just revved it up. From there on, start reading more books, and I started adding other stuff. I started eating wheatgrass and other vegetables in there. And just start juicing and juicing and juicing and juicing. And I was doing about, I would say, 40% cooked food, cook at home, and 60% juicing. And I was juicing about, I would say, about 50 ounces a day when I first started it. Okay, then I tapered off after about 4 years, 3-4 years, to about 32 to 40 ounces a day. So that's my journey. That's how it began. Cancer was the big knockout. Okay, there's other things that I had health issues, like I had allergies every year, I had nosebleed, I had 2-3 headaches a day, my cholesterol was high, I had all sorts of issues.
But meanwhile, you're thinking you're healthy.
Oh, heck, yeah, I thought I was living a healthy life. I felt fine. So after I changed my diet and I went to get my blood work done, guess what?
What?
everything got normal.
Wow.
My cholesterol is like 160, okay? My blood pressure is like 90 over 110, and it's been like that for years and years. I had a live blood sample the other day, 2 years ago, and they did a live blood analysis. The guy told me that he has never seen blood like mine. He said everything is separated and you're awesome. I don't know how you're doing it. I said I'm just doing juicing. Now this is despite the fact I'm working full time. I'm working in highly stressful job, which is real estate, okay? And I'm growing all this stuff, and I keep all this up for the last 7 years, and I continue to do that. And all I encourage the listeners is that, or viewers is that, just start out slow, okay? If you start out slow, and if you see the difference in your health, then you can, and I can tell you, I'm not gonna guarantee you, okay, because I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I tell you something, if you start doing something positive in your life, it will make a huge difference. And stay positive, stay strong, stay encouraged, watch his videos. Trust me, I'm juicing, my TV's right there. Guess what? Every single day I watch John's videos. Every single day watch. And even my granddaughter watches, and she gets blasted out of it, okay? So I'm just saying it, just do it. Just start out something, just do it. Just pick up stuff, and simple as growing broccoli seeds. I mean, it doesn't take you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do the broccoli seeds. Get some seeds, stick it in the water, in the jar, and rinse a couple times, and just rinse it twice a day. They just help themselves. You don't have to do nothing. After 7 days, they're ready for you to munch on, okay? So that's just basically my story, unless you have any other question for me.
Yeah, no, I got a couple more questions. So I think some of my comments are, number one is, it's not only what you're eating, like you want to eat healthy food, but it's also very important about what you're not eating. So you're not eating the junk, you're not eating the processed foods, the animal foods in excess, and dairy products that are causing this problem in the first place, right? If you keep hitting yourself with a hammer, right, it hurts, you're gonna just, you got to stop hitting yourself with a hammer, and that's what you're doing. You're destroying literally your body when you're eating and putting these junk foods in you. So that's step one, right? So he did that. He got rid of the junk, but then also it's important to eat the most nutrient-dense foods on the entire planet. So we want to eat the foods that could help you prevent cancer. Some of these foods have been shown in laboratory studies and in studies and published medical research to kill cancer cells, right? I mean, the broccoli sprouts, super powerful, the wheatgrass, even things like carrots and apple skins, not the inside of the apple skins, are anti-cancer. And things like bananas, they're healthier than eating junk food, but they're not as powerful as broccoli sprouts. So it's not just eating raw foods that's important, and it's not just eating dehydrated foods, which could be considered raw, or all these packaged raw foods. It's about eating real foods. So Dave, what are some of the most important foods to you on your specific diet that you believe have helped you immensely?
I stick with broccoli, okay, broccoli sprouts, that's my number one. I have purple cabbage, use purple cabbage, kale, collard, chards, red beets, little bit of carrots, okay. Anything that's anti-cancer is the main focus for me as far as juicing is concerned. And I think that should be main focus for you guys too, because those items actually, if you look at compared to the drugs and the chemicals that the doctor gave you, paying thousands of dollars, it costs pennies. Okay, I'd rather take that every day and save a little bit of money aside to be able to buy those stuff and then be able to grow all this stuff, okay, than to take $1,000 worth of drugs, okay. How much the chemo cost, okay. Average cancer patient is worth about $1 million to the pharmaceutical and the doctors, okay. So why would you not do it? Why would you not do it for your health? It's not so difficult. I mean, I don't want to suffer. I don't want to go through all the side effects of chemos and all the side effects of drugs. I'd rather have side effects of my juicing, which is all positive side effects. This
is could be negative if you drink too much and you're not used to it.
Yeah.
I've thrown up beets before and wheatgrass, but you just gotta start slow.
Start out slow. Like I said, start out gentle and start out where you at. Okay. You don't have to. I'm not a gardener. Okay. Even though my dad was a farmer, I'm not a gardener. I don't have his green thumb. So everything I grow is inside, and I think what I do is probably enough for me. And I feel vibrant, I feel healthy. I don't take Vitamins, I take maybe enzymes and probiotics. Okay, those are my main. In some powders, you know, some stuff that like superfoods and stuff like that, not on regular basis. And I eat only once a day. I mean, I eat only once a day, guys. Okay, breakfast I do lemon juice with, you know, with turmeric, and then I have one my juice, and then at about 11 o'clock I have my good salad, and then I have juice, and guess what? I'm not hungry. Now you may say, how the heck you can do that? Well, you know what? When your body gets enough nutrients in you, you're not hungry because your body gets everything it needs. You don't need it anymore. I mean, that's just for me. I only can eat once a day. I can't eat any more than that, because also when you start eating less, your stomach also shrinks and you can't eat too much food. I'm a little guy, but I'm telling you, I have a lot of endurance. Okay. But all I'm saying is start out where you're at, and, you know, try to do best as you can. You know, we all have our own journey. That is my journey. That is something that I had to do to be able to live and to be able to survive. And I had motive because I wanted to live. I want to see my grandkids grow. You know, I want to see my family grow. I don't want to die. I'm not ready to die, because I believe God has a reason for me, what I've been through. And I think that was, now I look back, I believe it was a blessing that I had to go through. Yeah. So I can share messages with you guys like that. And I'm blessed to meet John, and he being able to share, be able to give me this platform to share with you guys. So hopefully this video will help you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say the same thing. You know, I had a health crisis, and unfortunately, you know, unlike Dave here, who actually got told he was sick and he had the option of surgery or not, or doing something else, I wasn't that lucky. I got sick. I was literally passed out, taken to the hospital, and then I woke up in intensive care with IVs stuck in me. And, you know, I was not guaranteed by any means to make it out of the hospital. But I asked the doctor, when am I going to get out of here? He said, you might not get out of here. And I don't want that to happen to any of you guys. That's one of the reasons why I make the videos today. Plus, you know, like Dave here, I'm not saved here because of my raw foods. I'm not saved here because of the doctor. I couldn't write the check, Mr. Doctor, $1 million, do not cash unless John gets out of here. Money would have done me no good, and there's millionaires, billionaires, quadrillionaires that lose their lives every day because they don't pay attention to the most important thing that they own, their health. So I want you guys to make it a priority. And I am only saved today because I like to say from higher powers. You know, whatever your God, your belief system is, you know, I am here today and I'm on a mission, right? I'm on a mission to spread what I've learned to help others on the planet, because what else can we do in our lives, right? You could collect a lot of money, but what good is really that money going to do? You could buy all these fancy things, but is that really contributing to the planet, to your fellow human beings? So I really appreciate Dave for what he does. You know, he does actually one-on-one coaching that we'll talk about in a little bit, but he was in a little bit different situation than me. I had no choice. I got out of the hospital and the doctor said, John, you could have a reoccurrence. You made it out of this, but you might get sick with something else. And I said, well, why? He said, well, you have complement immune deficiency, which is basically, in layman's terms, it's a weak immune system that he blamed on defective genes. And I found out that by, changing my diet, you are what you eat, by eating healthy foods, I can have a strong immune system, and by eating crappy foods, you have a weak immune system. So I want you guys to put good stuff in you. But once again, you know, I didn't have a choice. When I got out, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be in the hospital again. I don't want to lose my life like that. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to live as healthy as I can. And that's why I continue to do what I do now. And it's been since 1995. 22 years now I've been on this program and journey. And I've learned so many things. What I'm doing now is way different than what I used to do. So, you know, those of you guys, I want you guys to watch all my videos because I show what I do in my videos. And over time, you'll see that, hey, John used to do this, but now he doesn't do that anymore. Well, because I believe I found a better way for me. And I'm not going to say what I do works for you, like Dave, what he does works for him. We're all a little bit different. I don't eat just one meal a day. I hope to get there one day, but I'm a little bit more active and I'm gardening and doing all kinds of things, running around, traveling across the country and making videos everywhere. I eat 2 to 3 times a day. Sometimes when I'm so busy, I eat maybe only 2 times a day, but of course, every day upon awakening, I like to drink, you know, some coconut water, and then I usually like to have a fresh juice also every day, and juicing's been super important and critical to me in my diet and my health, and in my opinion, it's the first thing, if you guys haven't made any dietary changes, you guys should do to flood your body with fruits and vegetables. So I think, Dave, the next thing I want to ask is, you know, I was not put in the hospital where the doctor literally scares you into getting the surgery. I mean, this has happened to both my parents. Both my parents have been in the hospital where the doctors scare them because they have a cancer, they have a disease, we need to operate, it's really urgent, and all this kind of stuff. And most people, unfortunately, succumb to that. Now, I'm not going to say that it's always best to ignore the doctors, because, you know, each person needs to, you know, check in with themselves and see what makes the most sense to them. But, you know, like I admire Dave because he, you know, didn't just trust the doctors. Number one, he went back several times to figure it out to make sure what he had. And number two, he actually educated himself, right? Who's going to do more good for yourself than yourself? So I want you guys to get educated about all these things and make an informed decision, not just listen to your doctors. You know, as much as they're trained, they're not trained in nutrition, right? And nutrition, you know, in my opinion, has a large role, but is not entirely your health. You know, stress is another important factor. Getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, your mental, health is also important. But, you know, Dave, when the doctors told you had cancer and you're going to lose your life, you know, you're not going to be here, you know, how did you feel, and how what would you say to people that are in that situation to help them move through that without being so scared? Because I think, you know, if somebody tells you that you're going to lose your life and you have 6 months left, then you almost like set that in your mind as that's the truth. The doctor said this, and then, you know, what we believe, we achieve. And if you believe that, then that's what's going to happen to you. But, you know, Dave didn't think that. So why don't you just expand on some of these thoughts that I shared?
Well, one thing I knew is that I don't have to hurry into anything. That's a key for you guys too, if you're going through certain type of sicknesses, okay? Just because doctors say we got to get it done right now doesn't mean you're going to die tomorrow, okay? It took maybe 30, 40, 50 years to get where you at as far as your sickness is concerned. It's not going to kill you overnight, okay? Trust me, I was getting hounded by doctors as messages because they wanted to operate on me right now. There was a point they're leaving messages on my cell phone that I need to come in, that I need to come in, that I need to come in and see them as soon as possible, because they were ready to cut me open, okay? But all I can tell you at that point, whatever you believe in, start praying, okay? Sit back, start praying, and think of this, it's not gonna kill you tomorrow, okay? It took a long time to get there with our bad habits. So I would say first thing is don't get anxiety attacks.
So another thing I want to say is that, you know, what we're sharing with you guys today is our opinions and what we would do if this situation or some of these situations happen to us again. We are not doctors. So, you know, this is what we would do. We're not necessarily saying or recommending that you guys do anything. Please consult a medical physician, you know, for specific medical, what they would recommend.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving my testimony, what happened to me. That's what I'm doing.
And what you would do again if that was to happen to you again.
Oh, heck, yeah. Heartbeat. I'll just rev up my system because it's all about your immune system. Okay, because immune system is what heals you, not chemicals. Okay, immune system was what take you to the next level. Okay, your body know what it to do. Okay, body has balance in there. Okay, if you keep your immune system strong, it knows what to do. It wants to live. Okay, your body wants to live. It'll go to any length to be strengthened so you can live. Okay, but when you put chemicals, like John said, I'm not doctor. I'm just saying I didn't want chemicals in myself. I don't want to poison myself because that will destroy my immune system, and I would not have been here 7 years later. I can almost tell you that if I had done what doctor wanted me to do.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. You know, I've known many people in my life, you know, friends of good friends that have had cancer, and they've gone into the hospital, and, you know, they know what I do. They know what I teach. And, you know, I try my best to share the information. And, you know, each person has a different point in their journey, whether they want to, you know, do what the doctor says. Because once again, I mean, think about it. Why is a doctor calling you to tell you to get the surgery, right? They don't make any money unless they do the surgery, and they make lots of money. I don't even know how much money they make for a surgery, but probably a lot more money than I make for spending a couple hours doing something. So, I mean, so I hope, you know, I'd hope and pray that doctors are good. But you know what? Once again, you know, the medical profession, it is a business. You know, getting down to it, and, you know, they think they're helping you by all means, but, you know, there are other options, so I would encourage you guys to look into them before making any decisions. So let's see. So Dave, another part of your component of what you did to turn your health around was juicing, and I do need to give you guys a disclaimer. I do sell juicers for a living. That being said, I've also seen many people's health turn around by buying a juicer, but not just buying it, that's not good enough, but using it every day and making it a point and a habit. You know, it's a good habit to do every day. So you want to talk a little bit more about the juicing and how you believe it's helped you and why that helps you and why you turned to that first, actually, instead of making any, kind of dietary changes?
Well, juicing, first of all, is the fastest way for you to get nutrients into your body. Okay, I cannot eat 2 pounds of vegetables. However, I can concentrate into juicing and I can drink that up in a matter of minutes. Okay, so I think having a juicer is very, very key component in your health. Okay, I have juicer, 7 years I have same juicer, cost me $300. Okay, I think that money was well spent for me. And I juice because I know juice is gonna get me the fastest where I need to go as far as my health is concerned, because it builds up your immune system immediately, and you'll see the difference. I mean, for me, it was immediate different when I started juicing and keeping my health, healthier and healthier. I got healthier. I get healthier. Now, like I said, that was just a big component cancer. I used to wear glasses, John, when I used to drive.
You used to wear glasses?
I used to wear glasses.
So you used to have to on your license it said must wear glasses or prescription or whatever.
Yes, I went back to DMV. I didn't have my glasses with me. My wife said, honey, your license is about to expire. Why don't you get your new license? I say, honey, I don't have my glasses. She said, why don't you let them check if you need glasses? The lady said, you don't need glasses. I said, okay, thank you. I got my license. I haven't worn glasses in 7 years, and I've been wearing glasses since I was 18 years old, and I'm 54.
Wow. So literally, besides getting rid of your cancer, your eyesight improved. What other improvements have you seen, Dave?
Oh, gosh. Allergies, headaches, nosebleed, you name it. I pretty much had a list full of stuff, but I thought I was living healthy. And this being only 46 years old.
Wow.
Okay.
So what specific juices, because I know people with some health challenges might want to follow what you're doing.
Sure.
It obviously work for you.
Sure.
We're not saying it's going to work for anybody, but what do you juice?
I juice all the anti-cancer. Okay. I do...
like the recipe and how much of each?
I don't have any recipe, honestly. I think I put the most that I put in my juice is the sprouts.
So that's about half your juice, right?
Yeah, half my juice, I would say 4 ounces of broccoli sprout juice, not 4 ounces in weight, but I'm talking about in volume. I do 4 ounces of broccoli sprout, and I would say I do 16 ounces of my other sprouts, depends on what I have. It could be wheatgrass, barley grass, could be pea sprouts, could be sunflower sprouts. So all in all, about 16 to 20 ounces are like highly nutritious sprouts.
So that's 16 of the sprout juice and 4 ounces of the broccoli juice. That's 20 ounces of like highly concentrated juice.
Right. And the other 50% of it would be just
regular vegetables.
I would say start with the greenest. I don't know if that's the word, but start with the most green vegetables in your juice. Okay.
So like, what do you use?
I use bok choy, I use collard, chards, kale, red beets, parsley, sometimes I do cilantro, sometimes I do a little bit of ginger. Okay, so those are like my spinach. Okay, so I pretty much grab whatever I see in the store, and I shop a couple times a week. Maybe I should shop more, but I try to, because of my time involved. But those are my like 6-7 go-to juices as well.
Wow, this is a first for me. I'm gonna have to say that actually Dave makes a more nutritious juice on a regular basis than I do, just for the fact that the sprouts that he grows and the microgreens that he grows are 4 to 40 times more nutritious than the outdoor vegetables that I grow, even if I'm juicing a whole bunch of them. I wish I have to come over here every morning and drink his juice. So yeah, that's super rich. And that's one of the things that's been on my list for a long time is I need to start growing more sprouts and microgreens, and I do have a plan, and hopefully that's going to start soon, because once I have more quantities, I'll easily juice those and drink them on up. So I think, Dave, we're getting to the end of the episode today. But are there any other comments or words of wisdom you'd like to share with people? Maybe if they have, a cancer, or maybe if they have some kind of illness, because you've been doing this now for 7 years and been around the block. And actually, more importantly than that, besides you've gone through it, you've educated yourself a lot about these topics. what would you like to say to anybody?
Well, again, I just want to say the fact I see a lot of people going through in this type of situation, and people tend to hurry into stuff. I would say have a good support system around you.
Good support system.
That's important. That's the key component. Otherwise, you know, doctor will pull you, and you will go their way. I'm telling you right now. They're pretty strong. I mean, mentally, you get beaten down when you have cancer, especially. You get beaten down, and the last thing you want to do is be discouraged and do what they want you to do, because they don't know about broccolis. Okay, they're not educated in those things. Okay, they don't. I'm not saying they don't believe it. They just aren't educated. This is not part of their education. Okay, so I would say you do your own diligence. There's thousands of videos online that you can learn about other alternative way of healing yourself. Okay, I would say don't rush into anything, and having a good support system around you is very, very important, because my wife was there and she was my advocate. Okay, where I was not able to speak, she was able to speak. And that helped me, because if I didn't have my wife for me, I probably would have done what doctor had told me to do, because I was at the level where I just wanted to live. That was my thing. And I thought, I don't have any other choice. And I just want to let you guys know there's other options. Now you know there's other options, okay? So the options are, look at the other alternatives and try it, and don't rush into it. You're not going to die tomorrow, okay? I don't care what type of sickness you have. You have to just give yourself time, absorb, think about what you're going to do, and have someone who believes in you, in your life. You know, one person, I just pray to God, you guys have one person who believes in what you plan on doing, which is alternative, okay? So you can turn your life around. That's important to be, you know, you have to surround yourself with the positive people who believe there's other way of doing things. There's always other way of doing things, okay? And that's especially, a proven fact. It's been done for many, many years, okay? There's thousands of people doing what I'm doing. If you go into the video, YouTube, thousands of people who got healed in this type of diet. I'm not the first one. John is not the second one, or whatever. There's thousands of people. Look up the videos. Google it. We got so much technology to be able to learn, okay? Be able to educate ourselves, because if we don't take care of our bodies, nobody else will, okay? I'm not against the doctors. I just want to let you know doctors are important in certain situations, okay? But I will say you have to arm yourself, okay? You have to be vigilant. You have to take care of your own health, because nobody else will.
Wow. And the other thing I'd like to add is that, not all doctors, are educated the same way. There's many holistic doctors and even MDs that know their stuff, that know about how to, work with you and nutritional programs to reverse cancer and other illnesses. So I'd encourage you guys to seek some of those out. Go to some kind of health retreat. I know Dave went to Hippocrates Health Institute, down in Florida, and that helped him and his wife, immensely to move in the right direction. Go see other plant-based doctors that have an education in not only the medical side and the regular treatments, but also the more natural side of things. So, like Dave did, he went around to many different regular doctors and got a similar diagnosis, but go around to other ones, and I want to let you guys know that although this has worked for both me and Dave, it may not work for you. There's no like miracle cures in the world or panaceas, right? Raw foods is not a panacea. Your diet is definitely one component, I think a large component of health, but it's not everything. I've known people that have gotten a diagnosis of cancer or other disease, and maybe they were actually eating a healthy diet. And then they said, okay, the doctor said you could get surgery and we could cut it out, and or you could kind of just do whatever. So the person said, okay, I'm not going to get the surgery because surgery is always bad. And then we're just going to do it on our own. And then unfortunately, they're not here today. So I'm not going to say surgery is always bad, but you need to figure out for you personally and make this choice. Maybe you want to get the surgery, you don't want to get the chemo and the radiation and all these other crazy things, and then you just want to go on a healthy diet. So at least you're starting with a fairly clean slate, even if sometimes when they go surgery, that's invasive. That can cause problems. What I've learned in this life is that there's always pros and cons to everything. And you need to weigh them out for yourselves and determine what level of risk you want to go for, And that's totally up to you. You know, we are free pretty much in this country to do what we want. And I want you guys to have the education to, you know, to be aware of that there's many options out there, not just one option. It makes me sad when, you know, the doctors scare my parents into doing something and they do things without consulting me. And even if they consult me, they may not, you know, do what I say. I mean, I've given them juicers, I give them blenders, and even to this day, they don't eat as healthy as I'd like them to be, or I wish them to be. And, you know, the other thing is, if you're watching this for a loved one, you know, you can't make anybody else do anything. You know, they're going to do what they want, and so then you just need to love them and support them in whatever their choice is, because it's their choice, and maybe it wouldn't be necessarily your choice. And I know it's hard sometimes, you know, but that's just life. And, you know, I try to do the best I can to educate people and give people options, and that's why I make these videos, not to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but just to let you know that, hey, Dave healed himself through natural means, and possibly maybe you guys could do that too. So Dave, are there any final comments or thoughts? And I know, you know, you're here to actually help people if they're going through a similar situation. So you want to explain what you do to help people out?
Well, you know, I try to give them counseling, and I usually give them my testimony. I don't tell them what to do anymore, although I have done that in the past. When I first started, I was being aggressive and telling people, hey, this is what you need to do. But now I tell them, hey, this is what I do. You may want to, you know, I send them texts and stuff, you know, these are the things that you may want to check out, you know, and the rest is up to them, John. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I give them my testimony, and I don't want to push people to do that. That's their own decision, what they want to do with their lives. And if they call me or email me or text me, and I tell them, hey, this is what I'm doing. You know, if you're able to do it, fine. And unfortunately, the answer that I get a lot of times, it's an unfortunate thing, is that juicing is too much work. You know, juicing, I can't do juicing because it's way too much work for me. And I don't want to turn around and say, well, how about sickness and side effects of the drugs? You know, how would you're going to suffer through all that stuff, you know? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to put your body through this type of stress, you know? Another component is important, I believe, is positive mindset. You have to have positive mental attitude, because I'm telling you, juicing and all this stuff is great, but that's just a part of the components. Okay, 85% of the sickness is caused by stress. Okay, so you got to lower your stress. I know sometimes it's not easy to do. It's not easy for me to do type of business that I'm in, but take a breath, relax. Okay, it's important to keep other things aligned as well in your life. Okay, you got to have good family life. Okay, if you're going through issues or challenges in family, try to stay positive. You know, I think is important, as well as eating healthy. That's all I got to say. I mean, right. It's up to you guys. You know, I'm just here as, I believe, we're just here as a messengers, and you know, I just like to give people message and give my testimony, what God has done for me, and I'm a living proof. Okay, nothing is guaranteed for anybody. I can walk out there and get an accident. Okay, but you want to do the stuff that you can do to avoid it, just like avoiding accident. And you know, cancer doesn't just happen by an accident. It happens because of our bad habits over time, and it's not going to be overnight. Okay, although it will help, but you got to give time too. That's another thing. Give time when you're going through this, and when you change your diet, don't give up so fast. Keep at it, keep doing it, and you know, just go on, go where you at, you know, and go from there. And that's all I gotta say. And I feel saddened when I see people going through this. It brings me down sometimes. Even though I'm a positive person, I see people going through that every day. Even in my business, in real estate, I see a lot of agents going through sicknesses because a lot of stress involved. I tell them, but not everybody does it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also real important is, you know, you got to value your time, right? And the way you spend your time, it comes down to like what you value. You know, if you value money above all else, you know, you're just going to work your life away for money, even if you're losing your life, right? I mean, one of the things that you don't know about me or Dave is that, you know, once he had a health challenge, right, he pretty much stopped doing everything because he wanted to focus on his health. You know, he got his house foreclosed on. He was living in a nice house. He got all foreclosed because he stopped working for a little bit to turn his health around before he could actually, you know, go back to work, because, you know, he wanted to work on the most important thing first, not making more money with the real estate, but with his health, because without your health, you have nothing. And likewise, you know, I quit my job, you know, to stop working, and I lived on my credit cards for many, many, many years. And so I could have more free time to dedicate to learning and changing my health. And so, I mean, I hear it all the time that, John, I don't have much time to juice. You know, and there are juicers that are easier to use than others. You know, the juicer that Dave has, I'll mention what it is. It's the Omega 8006. That being said, I would recommend the Omega NC 800, which is the upgraded model of the 8006, a little bit better. You know, that one takes me 90 seconds to clean. Might take you 2 minutes, but that's super simple. And, you know, what is your time worth? You know, if you don't juice and you want to go to work because you don't have, you know, time to juice, right? But then you lose your life, what good is the work? So, I mean, you got to focus on what's important. You know, I'll never say that, you know, you need to juice or you not need to juice, but I want you guys to make a conscious decision. You know, in my opinion, if you juice, you will get healthier, right? Because you're doing the right things to get good food and flood, you know, fruits and vegetables in you, and especially focus like Dave's doing on the leafy greens and the sprouts and microgreens. Those are some of the most beneficial vegetables in my opinion. And literally you're concentrating those and also making it in a very easy to digest way. That's also very important, right? Many people have problems with their digestive systems, as I've seen, after living the incorrect way and eating the wrong things, and juicing is just the first step, in my opinion, of starting to turn your health around. It's something very simple and easy to do, you know. Like Dave, I might take an hour or two to juice, but I'm juicing for me and my girlfriend, and I might make, you know, a couple bottles of juice, you know, 32, 64 ounces, and every day I'm juicing something different. I'm not on the thing where I juice the same thing every day, but every day I have a whole different combination of fruits and vegetables, so I have all different kinds of things, also many different taste sensations, so I never get bored. But yeah, juicing really isn't that hard. And if you guys are looking for a juicer, I'm here to help you get the right juicer, whether it's you want to juice carrots, whether you want to juice more sprouts and leafy greens, whether you want to, you know, have an easier cleaning, whether you want to get the highest nutrient quality, highest yield, so you're saving more money on the produce, so you're not, you know, throwing or composting wet pulp. You know, check out my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/raw foods. I have over 500 episodes on that channel comparing and contrasting different juicers to one another so that you guys get the right one. Because, you know, I believe it was my first step, like Dave, into getting healthy, and it really made a difference and wanted me and got me to actually go further and to do more. So, Dave, if somebody wants to contact you, want to share your contact information so they could reach out for you for some help, some support,
yes.
Whatever?
The best way to do is go to my website, and there's a page on the front. You fill in your information and tell me what you have, and I can suggest you what I do, you know. And also on my website, there's stuff like how to juice, what to juice, where to buy the juicers and stuff like that. We got all the links in there. And I just want to let you know that there's no charge for any of that stuff. I'm just doing it something that I believe I need to do and help other people. And the website is godsrx.org. G-O-D-S like God, S at the end, RX like drugs, .org. So like God's drugs, you know, basically, .org. That's my website. And yeah, I mean, that's it, you know. I mean, I'll be glad to help people out. I'm not a doctor. Again, I want to emphasize on the fact that I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving my testimony, and I tell people this is what I have done.
And this is what you would do if you were in a similar situation.
Right, right.
Sure. Yeah, wow, I think that's amazing. You're helping people one-on-one. I just simply don't have the time between traveling, gardening, and doing everything I do and making all these videos for you guys. But you know what? I want to say that we all have a role to play in other people's lives to make this world a better place, right? If everybody helped their fellow man, think about how much better the world would be. I mean, we don't even know our neighbors these days, right? And that's why I make these videos, because I'm alive today, you know, and I want to make the world a better place by teaching people how to grow their food at my website, growinyourgreens.com, and over 1,300 videos so you guys can grow your food. And hey, by the way, check out the video I did at Dave's about how he grows his sprouts and microgreens. Super simple, super easy. I'll put a link down below to that video as well as to Dave's website and contact information so you guys can contact him if you so desire. So Dave, I want to thank you actually for inviting me over to your place today. And actually, I want to also thank you for all the work you do to basically, being there for other people. Having somebody that understands what you're going through could be of an immense help. And, knowing somebody that's, done a lot of research and knows how he healed himself may be valuable and very valuable to other people out there. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, John.
Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode today with Dave and learning more about his situation, want me to maybe do more interviews and things with him in the future, hey, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up to let me know. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on any of my new and upcoming episodes. You never know what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. Every 5 to 7 days, I come out with a new episode. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. Besides interviewing Dave, I've interviewed so many other people, friends and people that have healed themselves eating a healthy, raw, plant-based diet and can help you guys too, as well as my friends who are medical doctors and other things. Also, be sure to share this video with somebody else that may be going through a horrendous dis-ease in the body, and this may also help them as well. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. Until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables and sprouts and microgreens. They're always the best.